We already know Disney's Frozen could have taken many different routes in its execution, from The Snow Queen by Hans Christian Andersen, but now we have a couple deleted scenes released by Disney. Let's take a look at the first one.
No. Calm yourself, control yourself.
Elsa? I'm here. I'm back.
What happened to you?
Pig pie. I mean, not a pig pie, but pig and pie. And ocean. Where's my rose dress?
Still recovering from the last time you wore it?
Oh, right. Sorry.
Please don't make a mess.
Ooh, how about this?
You are not wearing that to my coronation.
Okay. What is this? Ooh la la. My hips are here, my hips are there. Oh, pardon my behind, young man. Didn't mean to knock you down.
It warms my heart to see Anna and Elsa interact as sisters.
Your cold, frozen heart.
I know. I've concealed and I haven't failed in a long time. So this shows a very different view of the sisters. If you've seen the movie, and if you haven't, I don't know why you're watching this clip because there's spoilers abound. The sisters are separated, so Anna feels very isolated from her sister, and Elsa's also isolated, and it's sad to watch them grow that way.
Isolated.
Isolated. So this would have gone a very different way. I can see why they deleted it, because you can't really sing for the first time in forever with this scene.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Because she sings about her loneliness, and you understand why she made certain choices later on in the film.
Mm-hmm. And throughout the Do You Want to Build a Snowman musical sequence, you see them slowly growing apart, and so this scene would have kind of worked against that a little bit.
It breaks your heart.
That tends to be what happens in animation, though. Is that especially when it looked like that one only went as far as story went. You know, they didn't even get it. It didn't even get greenlit to the point of where it could go out to layout and then rigging and then animation. So it must have just been an early idea that was thrown out pretty quickly.
Well, we heard Kristen Bell and Idina Menzel doing the voices, so
that always happens.
At least it's gotten that far.
Yeah, that's true, and that's usually in the first stage when they do a story, when they just have a storyboard layout before it ever goes to. Because as soon as it's pretty much an animation, that's when you're spending the real money to get it like go from paper into actual rigging. But usually the actors come in and do big old batches of scenes and stuff, and they cut it in whenever it's appropriate.
And one can assume this was made after they added the idea that Elsa would not be the villain, that she would be a sympathetic secondary
Yeah, it looks like this got pretty far along in the process.
Yeah,
I have a couple of friends who are actually story artists at Disney Animation, and I'm always amazed at just the amount of work that they crank out.
Do so much.
And even if they know that there's going to be a scene in there, they're going to do 4 or 5 variations on it until they get it the way that they want. Because like Ivan was saying, it is very expensive to do the full, complete animation, all the models, the environments, the textures, and all that sort of stuff. So you do this storyboarding process, and you take it as far as an animatic like this. And that's how you make sure that the story is all cohesive.
And I've seen a scene even just as big as that, like it turned around in less than like 2 weeks.
Wow.
So that can exist as a version for 2 weeks, and then it can be a whole nother version right after that. And it could go like that for 6 months, 8 months to a year for every single scene until they have something they like.
It's really interesting too, because you see all this stuff. You see these little snippets come out in like the art of book or in these deleted scenes on DVDs and stuff like that.
Right.
But there are thousands and thousands of storyboards that nobody ever sees that these artists do.
I want to see them all.
And usually
I love that behind the scenes stuff.
Well, I think that's one of the reasons why Frozen included it. Is because they're starting to realize that people like seeing that behind the curtain type of environment that really appeals to them. So
animation fans aren't necessarily just fans of the finished product. They're fans of the process and the art that goes into it.
And it's interesting, but it's one of the reasons, like, they're deleted for a reason, under almost all circumstances. Yeah. I mean, there can always be some fun stuff out there that shouldn't have been taken care of because a producer instead of a director might have made a fiscal choice instead of a creative choice.
Well, on that note, I do want to look at our next deleted scene, which I think followed that pattern.
Whoa!
Catch. Hungry, Sven? Where do I get the reward for news of the Queen?
You have news of Queen Elsa? I'm her sister, Princess Anna of Arendelle.
Oh. Kristof Bjorgman of, no place in particular. I'd bow, but my pants are frozen.
Please, sir, what news?
Please, Princess, what payment?
So for that scene to have worked, we would have had to cut off the scene when Anna visits the shopkeep and runs into him trying to buy supplies.
That was one of my favorite scenes in the movie, so I'm very glad that they went that direction instead.
That could have just been an alt, you know, and that initially was the whatever arc that they were trying to get with the meeting. That they were like, okay, well that's a week, so let's come up with something else more.
So much of it too, because like they go on a trip together to go find her and find the news themselves. Not like I have the news.
Well, that's what all the
carrots.
All the more reason why it could have. That's why it was probably cut out. Is because it just could have been an earlier version of that arc, and then they found something more interesting in what's currently in place, and that's what obviously got greenlit to go into animation.
But I love in this scene though,
Yeah.
the deleted one, that you really start to see kind of the development of the Kristof character, and you can tell that stuff carried over into what the character eventually was.
Right.
That very sort of like Han
it's a
Solo,
process.
like, you know, I'm only in this for the money kind of swagger.
Have you ever seen? I think it's called Empire of the Sun, or not Empire of the Sun. It's the animation. It was kind of an unofficial documentary about the animation industry that was centered around what is now Emperor's New Groove.
Oh, you know what? I read about this.
Yeah.
It started as a very different movie.
Very different
Very
movie.
serious movie.
Yes.
And I believe Sting was doing the soundtrack, and
And that's why it wasn't actually brought into publication, because at the end of the day, they actually didn't get his permission to use any of his footage, and his footage is extremely important.
But it was a much more serious toned thing. Yzma was still in it, but
Yeah.
she played a totally different role. Kuzco played a different role. No Pacha.
No Pacha.
At all.
It was literally like night and day, you know. So and that's an extreme version of like the process that animation can go through. So it's really not surprising for me to be like that they took this deleted scene and they're like, you know, that's a really weak choice for the meeting. Right. Let's cut that and elaborate more. Even if it did have its charm in it, that could have been when they were developing the character more through the story process.
I wish they would have added more on Kristof though, because Jonathan Groff is a fantastic singer. He only got one kind of song. And then they made a joke about it later by making the Reindeers Are Better Than People dance remix. And he says in it like, this is my song, really? So I wish they would have added something more for Kristof, but maybe not that scene. I think the other alternative was the right choice. What do you think?
I think it was a good choice for them to just let it go.
Let it go, turn away and slam the door. No, it's a duet.
I'm not going to sing.
Oh.
I haven't seen it, so.
Well, I think you should. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I keep hearing about it, and it's actually on the very top of the current to watch list. So, you know.
Well, good job. I enjoyed that movie very much. What did you think of the deleted scenes, though? Did they make the right choice, or could they have made some different choices for a slightly, maybe better, maybe worse story? Let us know what you think below in the comments, and please be sure to subscribe.